for me.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, April 25th. Guess what? Season 23, oh my gosh, of Little People Big World is coming back on Monday. Actually, I have no idea what day it'll come back on May 17th, whatever day that is. Season 23 is coming to TLC. Okay, Little People Big World has literally been on a million years. Can you believe it? There's only one Roloff child left on the show, and that's Zach with his wife Tori. This season is going to be a doozy. I am pretty sure that Matt Roloff might implode every relationship with all of his kids over that farm. Yep. In the sneak peek super trailer that was put out by TLC a few days ago, it is revealed that Tori and Zach are not getting along with Karen and Matt.
The temperature's still pretty high between my dad and me and Karen.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
After the farm deal fell apart, there's been some tension between us.
A lot of people who have been following along on social media have had a feeling that something's been going on with the Roloffs between Zach and his dad. One of the things that happened was abruptly and very surprise, Zach and Tori announced that they had moved. They not only moved, but they moved to Washington. Now, mind you, the Roloffs live in Oregon on the border, not far from Washington, so they're not super far from Roloff Farms. But it was a huge, huge deal because in the season 22, Matt and Tori were actively debating about whether or not they were going to take over Roloff Farms. One of the reasons was the house that Zach grew up in on the farm has already been, modified for someone that has dwarfism like him. And they have two children that have the same form of dwarfism as him. And so the home itself would be a good fit for them. Now, they decided against it, although on social media, when Tori responded to questions, she simply just said that they weren't going to be doing the farm at this time and that they are happy in their new place in Washington. Now, Matt has created quite a bit of disruption with the sons over this farm. And if you already follow along on social media, you know that Jeremy and Audrey had also tried to get a hold of the farm, but they said that there was strings attached to it that they weren't aware of. And they also said that it just wasn't going to work out for them. So they had moved on as well and decided not to also purchase the farm. So Matt now has come up with this whole grand plan of what he's going to do, and he reveals it to Amy in the super teaser, but we don't get a lot of details about what that master plan is. Amy does not seem super thrilled. And in terms of where Zach and Tori are, Tori and Zach don't seem super happy to be around Karen and Matt. And the tension has boiled over to a point where they just don't want to be in the same room together. And Matt even makes the comment about how if this destroys the family, oh well, kind of thing.
Wow.
If it plays out the way that I hope it does, I think life on the farm is going to change forever.
I'm like, what are you doing?
If the kids decide they want to hate me for this, there's nothing I can do about it.
So one of the biggest issues with the farm, just from my take on what I've garnered off of social media, is that each one of the kids seem to believe that it's their right to the farm. And with 3 separate boys and 3 boys that have maybe expressed interest, from Matt's perspective, he has said publicly that he isn't really interested in giving it to one son because he would prefer that they all work together. Unfortunately, that's not how the kids envision it. They don't want to be in business with their siblings. And so making the decision of which son gets the farm has created quite the problem. But then there's also this whole issue about Matt in one breath saying that he doesn't want to be a part of the farm, but in the second breath, like not wanting to give up the control. And I think part of the problem, just in my opinion, of watching what happens out on social media is that for the sons to work on the farm, there might be a clash of personalities and some frustration with their father about what direction they're going to go. And if dad's going to really let go of the farm, how do they walk into it if dad still is trying to control everything? Amy already gave up her rights to the farm and she sold to Matt. And one of Amy's problems with Matt was just how controlling he was with everything. So I'm guessing that the same issue is going to happen with the sons. So if you remember, Jeremy and Audrey also are have some tension between Zach and Tori, and that all was based on some stuff related to the farm and things that were said about to one another and just hurt feelings. So all these months later, after it seemed like Matt was going to effectively give this farm to Zach, no go. No go for now. Also this season, we are going to see Tori announce her third pregnancy. She will show an ultrasound to Amy. And then another awkward moment of the show is Amy going on a trip with Matt and Karen to Arizona with her new husband. Amy says on the show that she still struggles to be around Matt simply because of their history together, and it's just really uncomfortable for her to be around Karen and Matt. I think the elephant in the room that Amy is talking about is that Matt allegedly cheated on her with Karen while they were still married. So if you're Amy, even though you're married now to Chris, it would still be kind of like a sting to know that your husband is still with the girl that he cheated on you with, right? Yeah. So she goes down to Arizona. She's clearly still having struggles. Matt seems to think that they have so much in common and really love to be together. And then Matt basically unveils what his plans are for the farm. Amy was not super interested, and eventually he admits that the whole farm issue could blow up the family. We also this year will see Jackson have surgery on his legs. I think he has bowed legs as a part of his dwarfism, which had to be corrected. So he had that surgery several months ago. You can also see Tori's pregnant belly in that clip. And we now at this point now know that she is very close to her due date. She has not delivered the baby. And at this point, we are still waiting to find out when the baby will be due, or when the baby will be here. She's very, very close. Finally, on social media, there's been a lot of rumors about what Matt's going to do with the farm. And the newest rumor now is that he wants to give it to Jacob. Matt deciding who he's going to give it to seems to change with the wind depending on which son he's getting along with best. Apparently, he thinks that Jacob has the best interest and the best potential of all of the sons to take care of the farm. He also thinks that it would be an opportunity, according to sources, that Jacob would actually be able to learn quite a bit from him about the farm. Now, apparently, Jacob has not been on board yet with taking over the farm, and Jacob has absolutely no plans to ever return to Little People Big World, and that could be a huge issue. So the farm, Roloff Farms, is a huge part of the show. And any child that's going to be an owner of that farm would have to be on the show, because how are you going to be on the farm and be an owner and not be on the show, right? So weird. So with Jacob not wanting to be on the show, unless the show goes off the air, I can't see Jacob being like, yeah, Dad, I'm going to buy the farm and I'm going to take the farm over. But because he's been so outspoken about how he doesn't want to be on reality television and how reality television is just really detrimental to his family, how it's really been detrimental to his own experience. He's come out publicly about what a producer allegedly did to him as a child, and just all the fakery that goes along with reality television. So Matt's choice to want Jacob to do it doesn't really match his dream of staying on reality television, if you know what I'm saying. And then you have 3 kids that are not on the series anymore, only one that is, and that one is now fighting with you. Just weird. Tori and Zach look like they have no interest in leaving the show, so maybe their storyline will go in a separate direction away from the farm. We'll have to wait and see. Overall, looks like a pretty predictable season on Little People Big World. Matt and Amy fighting, check. Matt having a fight with a kid over the farm, check. One of the kids needing to have some sort of surgery, check. And family squabbles. And new babies. Check, 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 and check. Are you excited for season 23? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.